Today, we explore a deeply troubling incident involving Simon Vickers, accused of causing his daughter Scarlett's tragic death. The case has sent shockwaves through the local community, with many questions remaining about the circumstances surrounding Scarlett's death. Stay tuned for detailed insights and analysis as we break down the case and its potential implications. In July, emergency services were called to the Vickers family home in Darlington, where 14-year-old Scarlett was found with a fatal stab wound to her chest. The injury, measuring 11 centimeters deep, was described as catastrophic. According to Simon Vickers and Sarah Hall, Scarlett's parents, the family had been messing around, engaging in playful banter while preparing dinner. This typical evening, which had started with laughter and light-hearted moments, turned tragic when Scarlett sustained her fatal wound. The Vickers family's home had always been a place of warmth and close-knit family moments, according to neighbors who knew them well. Local residents were stunned when news of the incident broke, and many described Simon and Sarah as loving parents who would never intentionally harm their child. This perception has made the tragedy even harder for the community to understand. Sarah Hall, Scarlett's mother, made a 999 call stating that her partner had accidentally thrown something sharp towards their daughter, not realizing the potential danger. Vickers later told paramedics that Scarlett jumped towards him during their playful exchange and that the knife just went in. The paramedic on site reported that Scarlett was pronounced dead at 11:50 p.m., approximately 1 hour after their arrival. Dr. Jennifer Bolton, a pathologist with the Home Office, performed an autopsy. She determined that the kitchen knife had pierced Scarlett's chest between the 5th and 6th ribs, traveled through her lower lung, and lodged in the left ventricle of her heart. Dr. Bolton concluded that Scarlett died very quickly due to blood loss. The nature of the injury and the speed at which Scarlett passed away have raised questions about the true nature of the incident. Simon Vickers, 50, denies charges of murder and manslaughter brought against him. He described the day as having started peacefully, with the family watching football and enjoying wine. Later, while preparing dinner, the playful throwing of items escalated. Vickers claimed he mistakenly picked up a knife, believing it to be a spatula, during the exchange. He recounted to police, "We were just messing around in the kitchen. One moment I was cooking, and the next, blood was pouring from her chest. It was all so sudden." Vickers' testimony has been a focal point in the trial, as the defense argues that the entire incident was a tragic accident. However, many have questioned his version of events, particularly regarding how a kitchen knife came to be involved in a playful exchange. During interrogation, Vickers admitted he might have thrown the knife inadvertently, adding, "I thought I grabbed tongs, but clearly it was the knife." His admission of possible carelessness has added to the complexity of the case, with some legal experts suggesting that such a mistake could still carry grave consequences. The defense has emphasized that this dynamic was typical for the family and not indicative of malicious intent. Vickers stated that Scarlett's playful nature had led her to throw grapes at him earlier, which he reciprocated with other objects. "She was always full of life and always joking around," he told investigators. The defense has painted a picture of a father-daughter relationship filled with light-hearted moments, making it difficult for the jury to imagine that such an event could occur in such a context. The defense has also pointed out that the family's playful nature had been a significant part of their dynamic for years. They maintained that such behavior was not out of the ordinary, and it was precisely this that made the tragic accident so difficult to comprehend. In fact, several friends and relatives testified to the warm, loving atmosphere that characterized the Vickers household, which made it even harder for them to accept the possibility of malicious intent. Prosecutor Mark McCone KC has argued that the severity of the wound suggests intent rather than accident. He emphasized that Scarlett's injury, penetrating her heart, required substantial force. McCone stated, "The prosecution contends that the wound was too deep to have occurred accidentally. The knife had to be firmly held when she was stabbed." He also highlighted inconsistencies in Vickers' statements, questioning whether the knife was thrown or held at the time of the incident. McCone insisted, "There are no eyewitness accounts from the prosecution, and Sarah Hall has not been called to testify." The prosecution has also pointed to the fact that no one else was present when Scarlett was injured, making it difficult to determine the true nature of the events. Further, the prosecution pointed out the psychological toll of the incident on Scarlett's mother, Sarah Hall. Despite her immediate response to save her daughter, the prosecution suggested that the trauma of witnessing the injury could have influenced her perception, making her later testimony inconsistent with the physical evidence. Forensic analysis has also played a significant role in the case. Gemma Escott, a forensic scientist, examined the knife and found evidence indicating that a stabbing motion had occurred. The wound's depth and the knife's trajectory could not have been caused by a mere throw, according to Escott's findings. This evidence further undermined the defense's claim of an accidental stabbing. Scarlett's death has left a profound impact on her family and the community. Simon Vickers' defense attorney, Nicholas Lumley KC, stated that Vickers and Hall loved their daughter deeply. Lumley described the tragedy as a horrible accident and added, "Simon Vickers will bear the moral responsibility for her death for the rest of his life." The defense maintains that the incident was the result of a playful family dynamic spiraling out of control with no malicious intent. However, the emotional toll on the family is undeniable. Neighbors have spoken out, remembering Scarlett as a bright, energetic young girl, and expressing disbelief that such a tragedy could have occurred in their peaceful neighborhood. The community has rallied around Scarlett's extended family, offering support during this incredibly difficult time. The shockwaves from this incident are being felt far beyond the Vickers family's home. Local schools have opened counseling services for students, and a memorial service for Scarlett has been planned. Many in the community have expressed their concerns about the increasing rate of accidents within domestic settings, highlighting how a seemingly harmless moment can escalate in ways no one could predict. This case serves as a somber reminder of how quickly circumstances can turn tragic. At Law and Justice Reports, we will continue to track updates and bring you the latest developments in this case. Stay informed by subscribing to our channel. Together, let's foster awareness and build safer communities. The trial has been adjourned until Thursday, leaving the community and legal experts to reflect on the complexities surrounding this case. As the investigation continues, questions around the nature of the Vickers family's relationship and the role of accidental versus intentional harm will undoubtedly remain at the forefront of legal discussions. This case also raises important questions about domestic safety and the potential dangers that exist in everyday family interactions.